In the previous video, we have discussed a bunch of reasons why reading is essential and why is it necessary to start reading, right? If you did not watch that video, please watch that video after watching this video. In this video, we are going to discuss as a beginner, how do we start reading? In any work we start, we need to take baby steps instead of directly climbing the third step, skipping the first and the second steps, right? So today I am going to give you some of the points that would be helpful to you in order to start reading a book and finally improving your reading skills. So let's start the video. Hi, namaste, welcome back to Learn with Gowthami channel. First of all, in order to read a book, you need to change your mindset. Till now, all of you may be in a view that there is no output by reading. It is a waste of time and it requires a lot of attention, right? We have discussed all this in the previous video. Right now, what I want to say is that you need to change your mind. You need to train your mind that reading is essential for you. You need to do it. You need to read whatever the context is. If you are reading blog, whatever the blog is about. If you are reading a novel, whatever the novel is about. If you are reading a newspaper, whatever it may be, but you need to read. You can simply read a paper while eating a chocolate. If you see a chocolate, on that a number of sentences are written, right? Have you ever observed them? If you keenly read them, you are going to gain knowledge about a chocolate, right? So there is nothing wrong in reading. You would get to know more knowledge. You are not going to lose anything by reading. So in this way, you need to tell all the positive points to your brain to read, to start reading. The second tip is that you need to read daily. You need to read consistently. To do this, you can set a time. You can allot a time in your day as a routine, so that at that particular point of time you are going to read a book. It means that every day at that time you are going to start reading. It may not be the whole book, it may not be the half book, at least 2 pages a day. You can initially start. I am not saying you to read 20-25 pages a day. Initially you can start with 1 page, but you need to do reading that 1 page every day. You should not skip even 1 day. Did you get my point? As you all know, after 21 days, you will automatically gain interest and your brain triggers to read. The next tip I would like to give you is that you need to select the genre that you are interested in. There are a number of books. There are a very wide collection of books nowadays. So you need to select those books. You should not read a book by putting lots of efforts at the initial stage. If you do that, you will automatically lose interest, and the third day or the second day you are going to just put the book aside. That is not our concept, right? We are practicing reading so that we can understand more and develop our skills. That is our main target. So select that genre or buy those books that you are interested in. It is not that you need to select only a particular book like Harry Potter that are most popular. You can just read a simple novel. You can just read a simple comic book also. There is nothing wrong. But the thing is that you need to read. The next tip is that you should not overachieve or you should not stress yourself. What I mean to say is that you should not put goals like you are going to read 1 book at one night or one book a week, which may be difficult to you as you are at your initial stages. But if you are not at the initial stage of reading, you can complete it. That depends upon your reading speed. But if you are a beginner to reading, then it is essential that you need to set up a goal that is going to motivate you in order to read more and more, instead of discouraging you that you are not able to reach your target. I think you are getting me. The next thing I would like to suggest you is that start reading before you go into the internet or you touch your phone. This is why, because the impact of social media is a lot more nowadays on us. Once if we start scrolling our phone, that leads to another topic, and finally we end up wasting our time. So if you want to start this practice of reading, make sure that you are doing it in the early morning or at the late night, before going to sleep, or use the free time without touching your phone. So use your free time effectively by reading. You can read ebooks, but you need to make sure that you are not getting disturbed by the distractions that are caused by the social media platforms. You can try out audiobooks because they are very simple to carry wherever you want, and you can start reading whenever you want. It is the simplest way in which you can spend your time on reading instead of wasting your time. Reading improves a lot of grasping power. Do you know, if you once read a word, it will be in your passive state of mind. You will not forget it, but it will be in your passive state of mind. And if you are again going to read it or see it or listen it, then automatically your brain is going to tell you that you are familiar with that word. In this way, you are going to counter new words and also increase your grasping capability of a content. You must be true to yourself. You should not bluff yourself. If you are able to read 2 pages a day, it's quite fine. You can read 2 pages a day and turn off. If a book is not interesting to you, just close the book and stop reading it. This is the best idea if you are at your initial stage. Pick up only those books that you are interested to read. While reading, you can use this tip because it has a lot of advantages. That is to read out loud. Whenever you are reading out, your mouth is going to practice the pronunciation of the word, and you are going to use your ears, eyes, mouth. It means that almost all the sensory organs are under your control. So, your concentration level and focusing level is also going to be improved. At the initial days, it may be difficult to you to concentrate reading, but eventually it will be habituated to you. If you are a person who just hates reading, you can try out this practice of habit bunching. It is the most interesting practice. That is, you are going to inculcate reading, or you are going to add up this reading activity with the activity that has already existed to you, in which you are interested in. For example, I am interested in drinking coffee. That is my favorite habit, to drink coffee, and I enjoy each sip of it. So what I am going to do? I am going to start reading while I am drinking coffee. So in this way, I am going to enjoy each sip of coffee, and at the same time I am going to enjoy what I am reading, because I have already selected the genre I am interested in. So I combine these two habits and form a new habit, which is going to finally pick up my or improve my skills. For example, let us think that you have a habit of walking on a terrace every day evening for 1 hour. What are you going to do now is that you are going to take a book along with you, or your phone which has the story or a novel in it, and you are going to start reading while you are walking. In this way, you are going to club these two activities. So in this way, you are going to inculcate this habit of reading and not wasting your time. Make sure that you are not walking on roads while reading. It is very dangerous. So in this way, you have to find in what you are interested in and club this reading activity along with it. I know that this is simpler said than done, but try it. You will see awesome results. You will be going to adapt to this process of reading within a very short span. The last tip in order to start reading as a beginner is that you need to know your level of English. How can you know it? In order to know that, what you can do is that you can go to a store, open a book of your own choice and read a paragraph. You need to check on 3 points. The first point is that whether you are able to understand the sentence without the need of a dictionary. The second thing you need to check is that whether you have understood the paragraph without the help of a dictionary. And the third thing that you need to understand is that, are you able to read with the same pace as you read regularly? By checking on these 3 things, you can easily identify at which level of your reading you are. If you are not able to understand a single sentence while reading for the first time, then step back. That book is not for you. And if you are not able to understand the whole paragraph, but you are able to understand a very little concept of it, it is okay. But as you are a beginner, it is not suggestible to you. In this way, you need to make sure before starting reading that whether you are interested in that topic or not. After checking your level of understanding, then you can proceed to the step that we have discussed till now. And one more thing you need to keep in mind is that if you find more than 5 to 10 unfamiliar words in a single page, then it is said that you don't have enough level to understand that book, because you are going to stuck wherever you find a new word. Okay, so it is better to leave that book and first of all read the simple books, so that just you are habituated to start reading English or reading any language. So I hope I have delivered everything to you that I wanted to share with you about how to start reading books as a beginner. So let us discuss about how to read fast and improve our reading skills also in the further videos. So if any one of you likes this video, put a like on it, share it to friends and family members, and don't forget to subscribe the channel, which would boost me to do more such videos. Thank you for joining. See you soon in the next video.